Right now, billions of neurons in your brain are talking to each other, using a special electrical language. Let's decode it.
Here's our game plan. We'll look at the signals, see the big challenge they face, and then find out what makes it all work.
So neurons use a few different electrical signals for things like sensing or for just talking to their neighbors.
But for the long haul, they use the action potential. Think of it as an all-or-nothing spike.
Now this brings up a huge problem. Nerve fibers aren't exactly great electrical wires. You know, they're kind of leaky.
So if you just injected a little current, it would fade out almost instantly. That's not going to work.
But the action potential is different. It doesn't fade at all. It actually regenerates itself all the way down.
So what's the secret sauce here? How is that even possible? Well, the answer comes down to one thing: ions. Turns out every single one of these signals is just ions moving across the cell's outer layer through tiny proteins.
There are two main players. Transporters are like pumps, building up pressure, and channels are the gates that release it.
And this pumping action creates huge differences. Check it out. Lots of potassium inside, but tons of sodium outside.
Okay, so all of this sets the stage for the neuron's default setting, what's called its resting potential.
When the cell is just sitting there, it's mostly leaky to potassium, so those positive potassium ions flow out.
Now, this leak doesn't go on forever. It stops when the chemical push-out perfectly balances the electrical pull-in.
And get this, experiments totally proved it. Change the potassium outside and the resting voltage follows right along, just like predicted.
So, the key takeaway here is that a neuron's negative charge at rest is all thanks to potassium leaking out. But enough about resting. How does it actually fire? How does it make that flip from negative to positive? Well, for that, the star of the show changes. Now, it's all about sodium.
Once a certain trigger point is hit, boom, sodium gates fly open, and all that sodium rushes into the cell.
And yep, experiments prove this too. If you lower the sodium outside, you lower the peak of the spike.
This graph really tells the whole story. At rest, potassium is in charge. During that spike, sodium briefly takes over.
So let's wrap it up. The resting state is from potassium leaking out. The signal itself is from sodium rushing in.
Okay, so that explains the signal inside one neuron. But how in the world does that message jump to the next one?